So it looks like Hood and Ralston have elected for the team of Pierce and Cummings to start on the left-hand lane. There is no match play here. It is basically just a free-for-all. Cummings starts off with a strike on lane number 15. And Ralston, coming up on lane number 16, elects to go first on their team, having Hood be their anchor bowler. All right, we're clean so far. One shot each, 2 strikes. And like we said, both of these teams were out of the cut for top 4 going into the last game. Team of Hood and Ralston in 5th place, Cummings and Pierce in 6th place. They just shot well enough to overtake the team of Getzel and Rhodes and Griffin and Tubbin. Mark Hood up on lane number 16. Trying to make it completely clean first frame for everybody. Looks good off his hand, and there it is, 10 back. So we are all strikes through the first 4 shots here on our Stepladder Finals, 3rd versus 4th. Dave Cummings up on lane number 16. Like we said, Cummings and Pierce just finished on this pair, and they went plus 81. So they got an idea, a little bit of advantage over Ralston and Hood as far as that goes. 23 and 24 is available for practice if the higher seeds want to go down, warm up. So you may see some shots off down there. We'll progressively make our way to the right. Ralston up on lane 15, trying for a double here. Goes a little bit high. Pays the price, leaves a 4-9 split. So early opening for Cummings and Pierce. Let's see if Pierce can get up there. I think he may let Ralston take the shot first. And if I saw it right, this team of Hood and Ralston may have been a late addition. Pretty sure I saw that Ralston was looking for a partner here not too long ago. So did well enough to get into the top 4. So 4th place, the lowest that they can get, as Ralston does leave it open in the 2nd frame. Pierce trying to take advantage of that opening. Dun, da, da, da. It's clean double back there, so Cummings and Pierce both clean. Starting off with a start in the first 2 frames.
Oh, he was on the pair next to me all day, so I was doing it all day.
And we got Hood trying to come back from Ralston's tough break in the 2nd frame, leaving a 4-9. Oh, and a weak 7. So not only does an open just early in the game like this make it a little bit tougher, but the fact that there are 2 bowlers just makes it that much more tougher, because you've got 2 doubles thrown against you now rather than just 1. And you and your partner are looking at 1 with the open and 1 with the spare in the 2nd frame. So that is a 30-pin disadvantage right now, but with that, 30 pins can be made up twice as quick with 2 bowlers. So early in the match, it's going to take a little while, and hopefully you guys are ready for the stream. We haven't been having some issues over the course of the day. Now every half hour or so we do have our stream reboot for some reason. We're not sure of the cause of this, but we've been having to deal with it for most of the day. So thank you all for sticking around with us and dealing with us through the internet issues. Cummings goes up for 3 in a row on lane number 15. Looks good off his hand and a little bit high flush. I want you to remember that in that last qualifying game, Cummings did have some shots that did have late carry to them. We had a 6-pin go sideways. We had a 4-pin trip late the very next shot. These last few shots have looked pretty good off his hand.
Which one? There's 2.
Oh, and a nice break for Ralston on that one. After a tough break on second frame, leaving a 4-9, trips the 2-pin forward on a light shot. Pierce looks like that was a little bit wide off his hand, but stares at a 6-pin. Not a bad result off of that. So I just tried dropping the bit rate of the stream just a little bit to see if that smoothed things out. Hopefully so. Do have a pin on the deck, so it looks like we have to call that back. And shouldn't take too long to clear that off and get the spare ready to go for Pierce. All right, the pin's already cleared. Pierce goes up for the spare on the 6-pin. Pierce in the stripes on the left, Hood on the right. Like we said, this is an over 50, under 50 tournament, which means that one person from the team has to be over the age of 50, one has to be under the age of 50. Team of Pierce and Cummings have elected for the over 50 bowler to start off, but team of Ralston and Hood have decided to have the under 50 bowler start off and the over 50 bowler to finish the shots, as they both put up strikes in the third frame. So they do gain a few pins back here. Let's see what Dave Cummings can do here on lane number 16, the only one that's still clean. Through three strikes. We got a nice little crowd here behind us cheering on. And that's 4 in a row for Cummings. Some people in a little bit of disbelief at the carry of that shot. All right, so this is a really important shot already in the fourth frame for Ralston, who put up a pretty good effort in the second frame, but left a 4-9. So let's see if they make a little bit of a move, carry it out for a double. All right, there it is. 2 in a row.
We're trying to get money.
All right, so Pierce coming up in the fourth frame. He had a spare a little bit high in the third frame, left the 6-pin, going for strike right here to get back on that string, and does clear 10 back. So 579 max for the Cummings-Pierce team. .548, so this 21-pin difference right now between the two teams. Hood coming up here in the fourth. Pins are already slipping away, so they need to pack as many strikes in a row as they can. Pretty good off his hand, but leaves a 9-pin on lane number 15. Pretty good shot on that one. So Hood starting off strike, spare, strike. Having trouble with the carry on that left lane. Left a light 7-pin and almost light enough to leave a 7-9 on this one. Thankfully, the 7-pin carried a little late on 15. So the teams are the left-hand side, A and B, against the right-hand side, 1 and 2. Bowler A is David Cummings. B is Scott Pierce. C is John Ralston, and 1 is John Ralston, and 2 is Mark Hood. So the totals at the bottom are the totals that are part of the match. And late carry does not happen, leaves a 10-pin. That does end the streak at 4 in a row. So Cummings had a lot of carry on his side, but unfortunately not on that one. Looks a little inside, but manages to touch the 10-pin for the spare. We'll see what Ralston has to say about that. A little bit of an opening can make up about 10 pins here off of that. It's kind of a big opening early in the match. 5th frame. Stepladder finals here at the Part-Time Bowlers Tour, over under 50 doubles. And that is a great shot right there. 10 off, 10 back. 3 in a row for Ralston. So it looks like we're sitting at a 40-pin difference right now. Hood with a spare up. Pierce with a strike up. And that's a double right there for Pierce. So both sitting at 279 max scores, 558 possibilities. So even though it is the 5th frame, it is kind of a must-strike situation here for Hood. Looks good off his hand, that right lane causing no trouble, but Hood's got to find something on that left lane and quick, because they're finding themselves down in the match by 40 pins going into the 6th frame.
I'm just regional crap. I'm not important. I'm not that important.
Well, we'll make sure you get the information.
Let's see if Cummings can get right back on his string here after leaving a 10 pin and coming pretty close to open in the 5th, but managing to pick it up. And Cummings actually taking advantage of lofting over the heads, kind of getting it over that hole that was created. Seemed like from 18 to 25, there was just a lot of bowlers playing in that, a lot of traffic in that area. Caused a big blow up, so bowlers were having trouble with the ball kind of burning out off their hand and then hitting some carry down, having trouble getting the shape, but Cummings not finding that trouble here. Ralston, though, going for 4 in a row. Looks a little in off his hand, but carries. Looks like he had just enough hand to cause the pin action go 4 in a row. So that cuts the lead down to 30 pins. And Pierce getting up there, throwing 3 in a row now, carrying the 7 a little bit late.
You want to get on already? Yeah. I might not say much. I'll just listen for a minute.
That's fine. They already hear you. I got Larry joining in on some commentary here. I guess they're possibly doing a re-rack on the left-hand lane.
Maybe next year, man.
So, Larry, is it typical rules, 2 re-racks on a game?
2 re-racks in a game, yeah.
Now, in a situation like this, is that per bowler or is that a team?
That would be people.
Okay. So Hood taking his one of 2 re-racks here.
Make you a bet he takes another one too.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. Is he pretty known for that?
It's all part of the game.
Yeah. Slow him down a little bit. That's why you see him do it in the 10th frame on the PBA, even though they're on as they're walking off the approach. Re-rack.
Like calling the timeout for the kicker.
Exactly. This is a pretty big shot right here. 6th frame. Hood needs to find how to carry on that left-hand lane. After 2 light shots, he makes that adjustment to get it a little bit more high flush, and a little bit too high leaves a 6-pin. So Hood has gone strike spare, and strike on the right, just having trouble with that left-hand lane, finding out how to get all 10 pins down.
Oh, we're out that way.
And making things interesting, too. Cummings almost missing the 10 pin in the 5th frame, and everyone else pretty much staying clean. That only open has come from Ralston on the 2nd frame, and that was on a great shot with a 4-9, so nothing you can really change about that. Probably as high as Hood's 6-pin right there, but Split decided to stand, and that is the separation between everything right now. So Cummings up here for a chance to put on some major pressure here. Looks a little wide, and Messenger takes out.
Week 7 there.
Yep. And in case you didn't know this, Larry, you have to hit the 7-pin on the right side according to the spare tracker here. Oh, and they got there's an issue with the pins clearing on the right-hand side there, about the 9-pin spot. They're asking if they can shoot it. So it looks like, being that the spare is on the other side, that it will not affect it. They're going to let him go ahead and throw the spare. That was clean. All right, so that's spare right there. Leaves a pretty big opening as Cummings and Hood are kind of trading back and forth between strikes right now, or spares, and a 4-9 standing again. But trips late, almost 2 in one game, but this time he does get the fortunate break, and it does take him out for 5 strikes in a row. So this is huge for Pierce to come back and answer right back with 4 in a row of his own.
Pierce has been solid all day long. Too.
All day long, yeah.
Just got a very simple, compact game. He doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah, he keeps himself in play, and I love the answer that he gave me when I went up to him, and I go, Scott, I thought I saw him bring a bag up and away off the pair that they were bowling on. And I'm like, Scott, I think you guys squeaked in. Did you guys make it? And he goes, I don't know. It's like that's a
very
pretty
solid on 16.
That's a pretty that was a great shot right there. It's just he's got to figure out how to make all 10 go down on 15. But yeah, Pierce, that just goes to show that he throws 100% every shot. He didn't even know. He didn't even know that they made it to step ladders. He was just like, yeah, cool. So it seems like that left-hand lane, not only for Hood, but for Cummings, too. Just having trouble finding that carry. But continues it on the right-hand lane as he is clean on that lane. Just needs to figure out to get that 10th pin down. He's got 2 9 spares on the left-hand lane. Same for Hood. 3 9 spares on the left-hand lane. So Ralston getting up, still can keep this at a 30-pin match. With 6 strikes in a row here. All right, there it is. There's your 6th strike.
I'll tell you, you're seeing some of the showcase of the talent that the part-time bowler store has. I mean, even throughout the day of qualifying, there were so many people that were right on top of each other. There were just pins separating, 1, 2 pins in the top 9.
Right.
So.
Yeah, just to think that was 546 to make it to the step ladder finals. That's 273 a man. So that's that's like 234 each bowler. That's a lot, especially on a sport pattern, Big Ben pattern. That's a decent amount, you guys. So Hood trying to double up here on lane 15, still looking for that first strike on this left-hand lane.
Yeah, if he strikes here, it could be a game changer if he can find something on this lane.
And there it is,
And
right
he
there.
did.
Yeah, he really made sure to get it all, and actually looked like he may have made a little bit of a move to the left away from the pocket. So that was a great adjustment right there, and we'll see if that carries over to the 10th frame. And something that I was pointing out earlier that that people may not have noticed was that Cummings and Pierce finished their last game on this pair. They shot 480 between the two of them, so a little bit of an advantage, I would say, for them coming into this. But you know, right now it's anybody's game. It's the difference between a couple of spares and a couple of strikes. That's pretty good off of his hand. Carries that 7-pin a little late, but does manage to get it down now. And a typical Dave Cummings reaction, too. So Ralston and Hood both in must-strike situations right now coming into this foundation 9th frame. Oh, it looked good off his hand, but it just did not make that back-end reaction. Just never got angle onto the pocket, left a 2-5. So they're hoping for a miracle right now.
You know, John's got such a great release, and he's still very new in this game. Not really been a competitive bowler that long. Very impressed with some of the stuff that he's able to do with the bowling ball. You know, and he's going to be here in the winner's circle and the Stepladders a lot.
And if I saw it right, I believe that I saw that he was one of the bowlers that was looking for a partner less than a week ago. He was in the list for a partner, so I'm guessing that him and Hood both kind of met up a little bit late, and here they are in the top 4 Stepladder. Kind of like the same story, Gray and Matson both had different partners as of like last night, and formed as of last night.
Yeah, it was some late night matchmaking. Nothing to hang their head about whichever way this match goes. They've done an incredible job. This is some stiff competition.
Right, this field is so strong. We just had a question in the chat. How is today's field? I said strong. It took plus 546 to make the steps, which, like we were just saying, almost 230 for a bowler. Oh, and that is light and a little bit of trouble. 2-8 standing for Cummings in the 10th frame. They do have quite a bit of a lead, but this still is pretty crucial make or break right here. So let's see what Cummings does on this 2-8 conversion. Lane number 16. Gets one to move and covers it. That's a huge spare right there. Because even though Hood had a little bit of trouble with the carry on the left-hand lane, still has 240 off the sheet. Same with Ralston, has 246 throwing the next 3 strikes. And great shot right there in the 10th frame to set it up. But they're going to need a lot of help here.
The bowling gods are going to have to turn their back on somebody.
Right.
And Scott Pierce has such a compact, simple game, and he's going to be in the pocket.
Right.
It's just a matter of carrying.
Do we know how old John is? Someone just said that he looks really young.
Well,
He's under 50, at least we know that.
He's early to mid-20s.
And has a great release, too. I mean, that is pretty solid at the downswing, but just kind of fades off at the back end and leaves a 2-4-5. That's pretty much going to do it for them. And that seals a great shot from Pierce. They're going to move on to bowl against Wayne Gray and Derek Madsen on 17 and 18. Winner of that match goes against our current tournament leaders, Jerry Dwiggins and Eric Samowski, who qualified at plus 604 for the day. So that's plus 300 a person. So that's about a 238, somewhere around there.
And Ricky, that shows you the difference in scoring pace from a house shot, which these guys on a house shot, wide open house shot here in St. Louis, they would have been averaging high 240s, even into the 250s
right.
to make the step ladders. And so, the challenge pattern from Kegel, the Big Ben, not really what we would call a true sport shot, but about a 7-to-1 ratio as opposed to the cliffs of Dover we normally see.
Right. And the thing about this pattern too is that it on paper does say 7-to-1, but I mean, so many of these bowlers out here pretty much take the first 10 boards out of play.
Exactly.
So that makes this. I mean, it really goes from a 7-to-1 to a 2-to-1 real quick.
Yeah, what you saw was the guy didn't have the free hook that they're accustomed to with the regular house shot. And it made him make more consistent, tighter shots, and they definitely had to pick their spares.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tighten things up a little bit where still be competitive, still be fun, but they still score well.
And I don't know if you saw this, but Hood went high again, left an 8-pin.